Welcome to the Car Sim and Race Driver Show, presented by Hugh Hattrick. Here at Bathurst in the Forest, my very special guest, Basic Ollie, Rascal, Rabbit, Josh Martin. It's great to have you back on the show. Drive fast and try not to crash. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Car Sim and Race Driver Show. And on tonight's show, we've got a very special guest. It is, of course, Darren Turner. Welcome to the show.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Nice to meet you all, or see you all.
It's great to have you on the show, and we've already got hundreds of comments on there, which is brilliant. All of your friends and subscribers there are obviously watching, which is great, and we will be taking your questions. So make sure you've got your questions ready for Darren in a few minutes' time, and we'll put him on the spot and give him lots of questions.
I'm pretty certain Richie's got a couple of questions.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it's been fantastic because I've been watching Darren doing his racing. Doing your streams, and this, and you've got, you are fast. I know you said to me that you're not very fast, but you're way faster. You're way faster than me. And I'm a fat man in a cheap sim. So so there you are. You're doing a good job. You're getting up in. Are you on A+ in Gran Turismo?
No, oh God, no! I'll never get to A+. A couple of accounts at A rated.
A rated is pretty good though, and you're getting some very good times. And you're doing. I mean, you were doing multiplayer last night, and you finished second in the race where I finished about 15th, even though I started 7th. So you were going up the field, and I was just heading on down the field. But no, it's you've got a lot of good subscribers there, and lots of banter in your community, which is great. And they're all saying hello, which is fantastic. So no, that's the thing. So tell us, how did it all begin? How did your sim racing or your hobby or your love for sim racing, how did it all start?
Sim racing as such, mate, I started playing racing games in the very early 80s. Sim racing about 18 months, 2 years ago. I started watching Key because I played all the Gran Turismos. And then I started watching Key. I just came across his channel. Started watching him. And then there's a couple of others, Super GT, Basic Ollie. And then about 6 months ago, I think it was, maybe a bit longer, I discovered some Scottish bloke. Turned out it was Mr. Dead-Eye Del Boy. And I started watching him. And he was more like, he wasn't one of these, the top people that play. They've got the thousands and thousands of subscribers. He's just like a normal person. And it was like you could relate to him because he's just like a normal person doing it. And I love Gran Turismo. Started watching him. And then on one of his streams, he mentioned he was selling his PlayStation camera because he was getting his Streamlabs and webcams and stuff. So I thought, I can give it a go. Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? So I ended up buying his PlayStation camera off him, and that's where it started.
Fantastic.
So I put it down to be completely honest, down to Del.
So Del's got...
Because he was just like a down-to-earth person. That's why I started streaming.
It's brilliant. And how do you find it now that you've started and you've got over 100 subscribers, which is great because it's really difficult to get into those first 100. It took me ages to get to mine. It's quite exciting, isn't it, as you see things start to grow. What
it is? I think I'm up to 127 now. So it's gone up by quite a few in the past few days.
Yeah.
It was difficult at first because you've got to, I think the first stream I did, I think I only got 1 or 2 people watching, but you just got to sit there talking to yourself because if someone just comes in, they just sat there watching a person racing, not talking, they're not going to stay, are they?
Yeah.
So you just sort of talking to yourself for a bit.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's really, really good. I don't know. You know the feeling when you get people watching you, talking to them. It's just makes you all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, it is nice, isn't it? Especially when you get lots of comments. And we've got lots of people in there, from Richie Johnson to RK74 to Deadeye Dale Boy, to Tara Black, to Ginger or JINJ3R, if I hope I pronounced that properly.
Ginger, yeah.
To Art Mohammed and many, many more. So it's fantastic to have everyone in the chat. Now,
Nice to use all people.
I know it's brilliant, isn't it? But that's one of the best things about the community, is that we do support each other. And you said you ended up getting your kind of PlayStation equipment from Deadeye Dale Boy. It's amazing how people really kind of rally around folk, isn't it? When they want to try and help you, it's brilliant, and you can really start to race. So, what are your favourite race combinations? What do you find that you do the most of?
My favourite track on Gran Turismo, and I know a lot of people hate it, is Big Willow with the Group 4s. I absolutely love it. I know I'm really quick there. It's my favourite track on the whole game. I absolutely love it. Best Audi Tt. That's my favourite car on Big Willow.
That's funny because
it's really good. It never comes up. It's probably been twice in the past year or so. It's been on the daily races.
Yes, that's it, isn't it? I mean, I have to say, one of the first cars I used on GT Sport was the Audi, the TT, because it just seemed to be quite an easy car to drive. Quite predictable, even though the understeer can be bad at certain times. But for a lot of like race B, it's great. If it's a race B and it's on a reasonable track, it's quite a good car overall. And I have to say, I share the joy of Group 4 there with you. I think it's a nice car to drive. They're kind of quite manageable, quite fast, quite fun, and you tend to have some quite good races. So when you first started then playing GT Sport, did you think that you would do all the kind of FIA races and things like that, or did you think you just have a little go? What was it that kind of got you into it?
I originally started with Gran Turismo 1 when that came out, and I've played all of them ever since. And then GT Sport come out, I bought that, and just started playing online racing. I didn't know about the FIA races or anything like that at the time. And I'll hold my hands up. I never do the FIA races. I don't do them.
All right.
I don't know why. I just never do. I watch people doing them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I never do them. Well, I did my first one last night that I streamed. But it's normally I don't have a Wednesday to be able to make it happen. So do you then to do just the multiplayer and just try and do your best on that?
Yeah, I just stick to the daily races. I mean, I look at the FIA. It's basically just a daily race, but you can get points on it. Yeah, it's just the same,
that's it, isn't it? And what's your views on the current state of the driving in GT Sport? Because it was just changed this week with updates on penalties. And I actually thought, although it was tough before it, this latest update, I'm not sure if I agree with it.
Right, from the races I've done so far since the update, I can't fault it. It's been spot on. Some of the races where I've nudged into the back of someone in braking, and I've picked up a penalty for it. Fair enough, I've hit them. But I've had no side contact penalties, whereas before they turned them off a couple of months ago, as soon as you grazed someone, you were getting a penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was absolutely shocking. But it seems now that the right person is getting the penalty.
Yeah.
That's from what I've seen so far. If someone hits you, then I haven't seen, like, people have hit me and I haven't got a penalty, but they have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, it's working.
Yeah.
So
you mustn't have seen my races then.
I've seen a couple of yours. I had a look back at that one we did last night.
Oh, 4 races, 4 penalties, and it was all a bit silly. But yeah, and it got worse and worse. But it was one of those nights when everything could possibly go wrong. It did. And you have to just grin and bear it, and hope that
it happens. We all have our off days.
Yeah. So do you think you're going to stick on PS4, or do you think you're going to kind of also try and get into console, into PC games as well?
I don't know. I mean, my computer won't run ACC at the moment, so I'd need to upgrade my computer. I mean, on PC, it's completely different than on console, and it does look better. But for the time being, I think I'll be sticking with GT and GT7 when that comes out.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll go into ACC, but we don't know. It's sort of the same community, but I think the Gran Turismo community is slightly, I don't know how to put it. They seem slightly more together than the ACC community. From what I've seen anyway, it's sort of an us and them thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And so what's been your kind of highlights of playing multiplayer? What's been your best results so far that you can think, oh yeah, that was a good result?
Well, beating you last night was probably the highlight of my career.
That's easy. That was no challenge at all.
No, I think the first one's getting your first win, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting your first win. And now I think I'm up to about, I've only got about 57 now, something like that.
That's pretty good going. That's very good.
It's not. It's not when you've got to see people getting a couple of 100 wins. It's just best moments. I like it when you pull off a really good move. It was like, because I got one, was it last week when Tokyo was on?
Oh, yeah.
I got one into turn one. I was racing against another Brit, and he knew what he was doing. He was slipstreaming and dump drafting. It was absolutely brilliant race. But got a perfect move into turn one. I mean, two of us side by side round to turn one. And I was streaming at the time, and I was like, it was such a brilliant move. It was just nice, getting it done without contact and racing with someone who's a good racer.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of people who are, well, they're not we won't use any profanities, but they're not the cleanest of drivers in the world, are they?
Yeah, I think there seems to be this bit at the moment, because I checked my scores last night and I was down to 23,500, I think, on the DR, which was low because I was up to about 27,000 before and just getting towards A again. And it was just madness. But in that group, it just seems like everybody just goes for any gap anywhere. And even if you leave space, they just run you off the road. So once
you get close to the 30,000 for the A rating, it's like everybody wants it. So they're just going to do anything to get past you, to get the extra points.
Yeah,
that's how it seems to me. Anyway, I might be wrong.
No, I think that's absolutely right. So I'm going to go to the chat in a minute. So I need the chat to get your questions ready. Put them in the comments, and we're going to
be nice, boys. And Sarah.
I know you've been worried about this, but I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. So, what are the questions for the chat that you would like to ask Darren? What's the things that you like about his streaming and his gaming abilities? And what's his driving like? Because maybe you guys in the chat have probably raced against him, so you might have a good idea of his moves and his driving style. Let's see in the comments, and we'll get those. We'll put them to him. Here we go. Now we've got lots of things that people were saying that Gran Turismo is easy to learn on. It's good to learn, and I think that's correct, isn't it? It's a nice, easy kind of game to get started with, and you can build up quite quickly.
It is.
Now Richie Johnson is saying, "I was told to be nice." Well, I'm sure we're after the watershed now, though. So
you promised me you will be, Richie.
So, what are the things that you hate most of all about GT Sport and sim racing in general?
On GT Sport, the thing I hate more than anything else in the world is someone who's behind you who will fight you for every corner while they've got a penalty.
Yeah.
They could have like a 1 second penalty behind you, and they'll be battling you for every corner. And if they get past you, you're going to pass them in the penalty zone anyway, but they won't have it. They've got to pass you with a penalty. That's one of my biggest hates. And the punt to pass, and the dive bombers. I think they're everyone's though.
Yeah. No, that is absolutely true. We've got a great comment here from GT Plus Racing, from Rascal Rabbit. Is it? Or no? Is that? I got 32k on my British account as Rascal Rabbit Oz. Yes, in 12 hours. My goodness, 12 hours to get 32,000. That took me about a year to get that. So that's a very good achievement indeed. Now,
I did an E to A challenge about 5 weeks ago,
Oh,
I set
right.
up a new account, to see how long it'd take me to get up to A. And I did it over 4 weeks.
Very
Just
good.
streaming for a couple of hours on a Tuesday and a couple of hours on a Thursday. It was the week I did it, and on the second week, Gran Turismo didn't give us any. It had to be a Group 4 car. I could only do it in Group 4 cars.
Yeah.
And the second week of it was when we didn't have any Group 4 races a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I did that. I think we got up to 29,930 points. No, 29,928. And I gave up after that because I've been streaming for 7 hours. I thought, no, that's it, done. I was 72 DR points out.
My goodness. But you pretty much did it. That's pretty good going. Now, we've got hundreds of questions now, so get ready for these. Okay. So here we go.
Fire away.
Now, the first one is an easy one, but it is from Harper87. Not a question, but he did say he likes how consistent you are. So you're very consistent. Now, Deadeye Delboy said, what was your favourite racing game as a kid?
Oh, my favourite race as a kid? Growing up, it was Checkered Flag on the Sinclair Spectrum.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one.
That was in 1988, I think it was.
Yeah, that would have been about it. Yeah, I had a BBC computer, so yeah, but my mates all had Spectrums. And was,
yes. I've still got my Spectrum, and I've still got Checkered Flag.
Oh, fantastic! That's the thing.
It's a terrible game. It really is. It really, really is.
Now we've got WBA legend who has said that he hasn't raced for a few months, but you raced him at Big Willow a couple of times about 6 months back. And he wonders, how do you manage to be quicker there than at any other track?
I don't know. I can honestly say, I'll hold my hands up, I do not know. It's one of those great mysteries in life. I can get round there quicker than I can on all the other tracks.
It's funny.
I don't know why.
You must just have that rhythm and just know how to take every corner and avoid the dust in the desert.
It must be because I never go off there. Unless I get hit, I never go off. I'm really, really quick on that track, and I can't explain it.
Because that last corner is the really tricky one as you come onto the straight. I think lots of people go wide.
No, it's dead easy. There's a very faint white line. There's a very faint white line just to the left. As you just stick to that, you can't go wrong.
I'll have to watch your video on that then. I'll have to watch your video and see what you're doing. That
that was the race. I got that race. That was one of the ones that got me to A rating.
All right.
On Big Willow, and it is on my channel, a video.
Yeah.
I think it was Audi Tt with Warner Brothers cartoon characters on it.
That looks brilliant. That'd be amazing. Now here comes all these questions. My goodness, I want to go back up the comments to be able to ask them all. Now,
that many?
Yeah, it's good. It's great. So from ART Mohammed, he says, do you prefer sprint races or strategy races? And no stop races don't count.
Strategy ones are good. I think I'd say strategy more than sprints, because the longer races are better. Like Monza a couple of weeks ago with the Group 4s on. I know it was a 10-lap race. It's better the longer races. I know there wasn't much strategy in it, but I prefer a strategy one, even though I'm not very good with strategies.
No, that's good. Now from Shitso Jin, he says, are you going to start doing FIAs?
I should do. Like, what I'll do, I'll make a promise. When's the next manufacturers? Next Wednesday. I will stream next Wednesdays, and the people on this lovely channel now can decide which manufacturer I'll use.
Excellent. Well, there you have it. An exclusive.
Well, there you go.
That's a car.
You can pick for me. I'll stream it next week.
And one of the things that RK74 has said that he can't stand is when people fight like mad on lap 1 in a 10-lap race, which is true, isn't it?
Yes.
It's crazy.
That is very, very annoying.
Yeah. But now Richie Johnson has asked a very good question. He says, if you could change anything about the daily races, what would it be?
That is a very, very good question. I'd probably make race B longer.
Yeah. Good answer.
I think race A, you've got a lot of people can drive the road cars on Gran Turismo. I can't do them. I lack the skills to keep the car balanced to get around corners. Race B and C, most of the time I can do C. Race B, it should be longer. 3, 4, 5 laps. They're not long enough.
Yeah.
Make them 10, 12 laps, something. They'd be so much more competitive.
Yeah, no, that's
I just think it'd be better.
Yeah. Now we've got Gary Gilmore, the famous Gary Gilmore in the chat, and he has asked, which other GT Sport YouTuber do you like seeing racing in a daily race with you?
In a daily race with me? Well, I can never get to race with Dell because he's A+. Who have I raced with? I've raced Aries a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
I've raced Rory. He doesn't know who I am though, so. Who else have I raced? I don't know. I don't mind if someone's streaming. I mean, I've raced. I'd be gross to say that I've raced against Dio quite a lot. Just Dio. I've raced against him several times. But I don't mind doing race. They're all good on. It's great. I mean, if you can get into someone, they could be streaming. If you beat them, it's great if you get to someone who's streaming.
Yeah.
So I can't give a definitive answer to that.
That's all right. No, that's good. I think whenever you see, as long as you don't see Momos and a few others in there, then you're usually all right. You know, and he's right in front of you or right behind you. That can always be
isn't that bad, to be fair.
No, I think there's plenty that compete with them in terms of that can punt you off and can do all sorts of crazy things. But now Ari Chris has said people with no racecraft, I imagine, is the thing that annoys him, because that's true, isn't it? They just think it's like just bumper cars. But and then RK74 said, do we need the daily races to actually be daily again instead of weekly? A very good question.
It is. I mean, I remember when they were actually daily ones, but I prefer them as they are now. I mean, maybe they should change the name to weekly races, but I prefer them because you get better over the week, don't you? You get more practice. If it changes every day, you're going to spend a couple of hours doing the race, and then it's going to change then because after people have finished work. So if it changes every day, if you get in at 5, 6 o'clock at night, you get a couple of hours racing, then you go into bed ready for work the next day, and you come up, next day comes and it's changed. So you don't really get to practice the tracks as much, do you? Yeah,
it is harder. You got to, as you say, and the ones who can take the day off and practice are going to be much better than the ones that are just going to jump on, or certainly it's going to be a lot more competitive for those guys. But now we've got a good question from GD Plus Racing. It is, what's your DR at the moment? He just recovered from 15,000. But now he's up to 53.
It's not that high. I think. Which account would you like me DR on? I've got 5. My main account, the one I originally started on, which I've not used for ages, not to race on, is on about 32. I think my American account's on about 34, and I've got another one that's on about 34. The other 2 are just B-rated, which is the one I raced you on last night.
All right, yeah. Because we have tried that on a few occasions, haven't we, to try and get in on a lobby?
Yes.
And we managed it last night, although we didn't really have a chance to properly race. But hopefully, we'll get that done in the next wee while. That would be good.
Hopefully, yeah.
Now we've got so many great questions here. It says here. Now here we are. Besides Gran Turismo streams, what else do you watch on YouTube?
What else do I watch on YouTube? That is a good question. Hang on, I'll have to have a look at my phone. I don't know what I search for. Hang on. Oh my goodness. What do I search for? Right. All right. Okay. I watched NASA TV. I watch NASA TV. I like that a lot. I watch a lot of Queen. All the Freddie Mercury stuff. And that's just, everything else on me YouTube is just Gran Turismo, really. That's mainly it, Gran Turismo. Or like when people are streaming ACC and stuff like that. I'm just watching streamers most of the time.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because when you get into it, you find that's what it is. Because the list of your people you're subscribed to come up with the videos, and you think, oh, have a look at that, have a look at that, and a bit more of that, and try and catch a few streams as well and see what people are doing. But it's all good, isn't it, when you get that? Now, a lot of people are talking about this new test drive game. I think it was GT Plus Racing that was mentioning, and a few others. So that's going to be out where you'll be able to do mountain roads and all sorts of.
I've not seen that one.
Yeah, neither have I. I have heard of it, but I've not
even heard of it.
If it's coming on console, that could be quite a good one. That so it's certainly causing a stir in the chat. Here now, you've also got a few recommendations of cars that you could use for manufacturers.
Go on, then, fire away.
Yeah, and one is VW. Art Mohammed said use Volkswagen. Richie Johnson said used Alfa Romeo. And Ari Chris says he wants a 1v1 race against you, one lap at Northslife in Group 4, and hopes that you'll be up for the challenge.
Right. If anyone's seen my posts on Facebook or what I've said, I cannot do the green hell. It takes me about 3 days to do a lap. I can't do it. I avoid it like the plague. I'm too old for it. It
might be all right in a Group 4 car, to be fair, but a lot of the time they put pretty fast cars on it when you get it there.
I couldn't do that if it was in a 1967 VW Beetle. I couldn't do it.
It is a challenge. I suppose I remember playing it in the earlier GT games and Gran Turismo games, and so you kind of got used to it because you had to do it for the career and things like that to kind of progress. But they were always kind of tough races, but they're always good.
I'll be completely honest. I've not done it on any of the Gran Turismo games. I've never done it. I tried it years and years and years ago. I couldn't get it, so I just gave up on it.
Yeah. Oh,
I've just never bothered since.
Now, GT Plus Racing, Rascal Rabbit has said, "What's your basic equipment list?"
What equipment do I have?
Yeah, for the equipment that you have, yeah.
I have got a next level FGT rig. I've got a CSL Elite with the normal pedals. I haven't got the load cells or anything. My computer is a Nexus 5 or something, or whatever it's called. I'm not very good on computers. And I don't have a monitor. I've just got a 55-inch telly that I play on.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty decent. That's the thing. Now, Ginger has asked, who is your favorite GT Sport YouTube streamer?
I have to be very careful here because I know one of them's watching. Right, are we talking about? Can we separate this in between the top guys who are streaming and the guys who don't have 30, 40,000 viewers?
I'll give you that.
Can I have two? Right. Out of the top guys, it's a tie between Key and Rory.
Mm-hmm.
Rory is. I tweeted to him on a tweet before. His streams are dead relaxing. It's like watching a film with Morgan Freeman narrating it. His voice is just very relaxing. Without trying to say it, but the ones that aren't the top level streamers, it has to be Dell.
Yes, he's come up to the field and made his mark.
He has.
Yeah. We hope to have Dell on the show soon. We'll need to get the diary. If you're watching there in the chat, I know you're in there. You'll be there watching. We'll need to get the calendar sorted out and get you booked in. So you can go through this.
We've told him he needs to get on here.
Yeah, the sweat and tears of coming on the Car 7 Race Driver show. Which
there's been a lot of them the past couple of days.
Oh, that's the thing. Now, just while we get that chance, next week, just so that you know in advance, we've got Chris Graham, who is a motorsport commentator, and he has just started on Motorsport TV. He is the motorsport news reader for Motorsport TV. And does 3 reports a day. So a very, very big commentator, getting out there on real live television as well. And he does commentating on lots of different major motorsport events. So he'll be coming next week at 9 o'clock. So make sure you don't miss that one. But back to Darren Turner. Here you are. Now, I will say, Mike Rogers Racing has joined the stream as well. Now, he's come with a very, very good question, which I'm sure is appropriate for the both of us. It says, does Darren think there's any room left for another bald YouTuber?
I've got hair. Look, I've got hair. I just shave it off. I have hair. Not a lot of it, but I've got a full head if I let it grow. I'm not bald. Thanks for that, Mike. Cheers, mate. Well done.
Yeah. Oh, you know they love you. They know they love you.
I know. I love them all too.
Now, here is a good question. And I think it's been repeated a couple of times, but I missed it the first time. Do you think we should have a Red Bull ring in reverse as a daily?
Yes.
That would be an interest. Totally weird. Yeah, wouldn't it? It's gonna
I mentioned this in my chat the other day when I was streaming. I did it one day when I was just practicing. I just turn around, drive it backwards. It's absolutely brilliant. It is an amazing track in reverse. But try it. Go on and just practice Red Bull and turn around and do it backwards. It's fantastic.
So in other words, just go the wrong way just for a laugh.
Yeah.
You're not going to come up saying that you're going the wrong way. But
yeah, you've got the thing in the middle saying you're going the wrong way. But it is absolutely brilliant the wrong way around.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, that would be, because I mean, imagine also doing that circuit, but the short circuit the wrong way around as well. Because that's an even kind of stranger one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then GT Plus Racing has said, how about Spa in reverse as well? That would be, it's got, because the first chicane, it would be backwards. That would be really cool.
It would. It'd be challenging, shall we say?
But yeah, you'd be going uphill faster and faster, then having to take Eau Rouge downhill.
Yeah,
that should be really ropey. Yeah. I think
it could be interesting. I might give that a try, actually.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Now, Dale Boy said, just to clarify, I have not paid Darren much to promote me. That you're getting lots of advertising tonight.
Well, Del knows we all love him.
Oh yes, no, absolutely. He's very, very good indeed. But now, what would be your plans then for your kind of the future of your channel? As you've just been going quite recently, but what would be your kind of major goals and targets that you would like to achieve?
Well, my target I set myself was to get 50 subscribers by my birthday. Mm-hmm. That's when I started, but I got that. I got the 50 about 6 weeks ago, and my birthday's not till September.
Oh wow!
So I had to change it to 100 by my birthday.
Uh-huh.
But that came a bit too soon as well. Well, I'm never ever going to be up on the top level with like Ollie and Key and Rory and all that. I know that. It's like I know I'll never get to A+. I don't have the skills to do that. But as my channel grows, I love playing the game, and people like watching people playing it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it because I enjoy it. So why not let some other people enjoy it at the same time? Yeah. That's my thoughts. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. No, I think it's really good. I mean, clearly from what you've got a lot of support out there, which is great, and it's growing at a very, very good rate, which is fantastic. And when I started last year, I was very fortunate. I got Rory to come on the show, and a lot of his community came across and watched the show, and some of them subbed as well. So we went. I remember I got my 100th sub from that one. It really helped a huge amount. But it shows you that people love what you're doing, and I think because you are fast, and please don't deny it, you are quick out there. You're showing that you're competitive in the races, so you're able to get that. I think people definitely want to watch people battling at the front when you're doing races, and not like myself kind of heading down the backfield when I'm not doing interviews. But although I'm trying to get better, and some races I do it a bit better. But no, I think you'll definitely see. I mean, I'm only on about 350 odd subscribers, just about there. So it does come in time, and it just as I think you're a dedicated streamer and doing the race as well. I'm sure that will come pretty quickly, and it would be nice.
I've done a couple of videos. Key recommended a video editing software. Well, Dell did as well. but I couldn't figure out the one that Dell recommended. So Key recommended one, so I tried that and I can work that one. So I've done a couple of videos so far, so that's coming along. I still need to figure out a few things what I want to do, but I want to start doing some videos and that because people like videos.
Yeah,
so it's not just about streaming all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a few different things of using the PS4 and then saving the replay and then commentating over it, which is quite good. And it's quite quick as well. You can upload them quite quickly, but obviously you can use editing stuff as well to do it also. But,
it's not quick doing it, editing it. I was surprised. I didn't think it'd take as long as what it does. So I can see why some of these people have it as a full-time job.
Yeah.
Because to make a video, it takes hours.
Yeah.
I was surprised how long it actually takes.
Yeah. And then you've got to make sure that it looks right and the quality is good. And then also, I used to use one of these Elgato systems. So you would kind of record the screen and then try and do it. And sometimes it worked quite well, but it was complicated. I mean, my computer looked like a telephone box because all the wires are in the back trying to fit everything in for that and the PlayStation.
But that's what I use. I think most people use the Elgato.
Yeah.
I know that's what I use.
Yeah. But, GD Plus is saying he'll sub now. He's off at 6:30 a.m. here in Melbourne, Australia, and he hasn't slept. My goodness, he's been up all night. So good luck to both of you and all the other content creators here. I'll reply to your email tonight, by the way. Oh, that's for me. So that's the thing. That because we're Rascal Rabbit is helping us with a racing league, which you'll be welcome to come along and join us with. It's going to be good fun. And it's going to be Group 4 cars as well and things like that. So it'll be a good competitive league, which will be fun. Now it's you've got some excellent questions here. We've got Dockinator as well, who's in the chat. And,
hello, Chris.
And Ginger is saying, "What is TC? What's traction control?" And then
I think he's being a bit sarcastic with that one.
Now that's the thing, isn't it? So how do you find, because obviously you're a big Group 4 fan, what's your favourite car? And obviously you did the Audis quite a bit, but do you have other cars in Group 4 that you like? I
like the McLarens.
Aye.
I like McLaren. The Peugeot, it's a good car, but the understeer is shocking.
Do you think it's better than the Audi? I think it's overall maybe a bit better than the Audi.
I think only slightly. I think the brakes are better on the Audi and it turns in quicker, but the Peugeot's got the edge on straight line speed.
Yeah.
I used to like the Jags, but I'm not overly keen on them anymore now.
I've just signed up for Jaguar.
I apologise.
No, I think I really had no idea what car, what manufacturer to choose. And I thought I want to get this race done, so I just did the worst thing you could do and just say I'll go for a Jaguar because I thought that'll be fine. Because I looked at some of the others and I thought I'm not sure what's going to be popular, what's going to be. You don't know, I suppose, what all the races are going to be like. So I went and chose the Jaguar, but no, it is quite good. But all right.
Well, I'm dependent on all the people watching here tonight to pick a manufacturer for me.
Well, yes, they'll give you plenty. It seems like Volkswagen or Alfa Romeo are the two main ones that they're thinking you should go with. But Richie Johnson has asked you a good question here. It says, what's your most embarrassing moment live on stream so far?
Oh, probably this.
Oh, you're getting plenty of likes and plenty of stuff.
I can't think of one off the top of my head. I don't know. I mean, I've not pulled my headphones around my face or anything, so I nothing really. I haven't had a major embarrassment mess up yet. I know it's coming. it'll come eventually, but it's not happened as yet.
My best one was I had my wife argue with me on a stream because I hadn't quite put the kids to bed yet, and I was trying to do a quick 10-minute test to see what it was like, and you could hear my wife shouting at me in the background. So it was a mixture of soap opera and racing for one night. So it was quite fun. I don't think it got many more viewers, but it was certainly an interesting one to watch back. Yeah. I got some quite good comments on that one.
I'm sure my star moment's coming.
Yeah,
it can't be far away.
And Arcus74 has asked, which one understeers off track in the straightest line? The Group 4 Peugeot or the Group 4 Audi?
Peugeot.
How do you think? See, I would have thought the Audi, because when you go flat out in the Audi, it really does just go in a straight line, doesn't it? It just kind of goes straight off.
Yeah, the Peugeot. I think the Peugeot understeers more.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You have to turn in earlier in the Peugeot than you do with the Audi to get it around the corners. I think you do anyway.
Yeah, no, it's interesting taking it. Maybe I'm too hard on the gas on the Audi when I use it, and maybe that's why I think it does it a bit more. But no, that's a good answer. And Deadeye Delboy has come up with a cracker. How much wine had you drank before you ordered all your Fanatec equipment?
Oh, he knows. The story behind this, I bought it. I was always been on a pad, and last January I thought, well, I'll get a wheel because I'd started watching the YouTubers. Thought I'll get a wheel, but I didn't know whether I'd like it or not. So I bought a T80, the Ferrari edition. It's got no force feedback or anything. It was 40 quid, so I thought I'll buy it just to see whether I like it, and I did like it. So I upgraded to a G29. Now I had the G29, but I don't. What wheel have you got? Have you got the G29?
Oh yeah, I've got one of those too. Yeah.
You know the way it's a little bit clunky.
Yeah.
On the force feedback, that was annoying me. So I've been toying with the idea of getting either a TGT or a Fanatec, and it got to November, and I was just like, I'd had two bottles. I just bought.
Went on Amazon and click. That's it. Was it?
But it was worth it.
Yeah,
it was.
Now we've got Womble Leader Racing, who's been on the show, but as well, and he says, "Will you vow to never run a standard livery ever again?"
It's very, very rare that I do. It's only if I completely forget. Because I love us. I love them. I mean, I have made some of my own, but mine are all like 80s cartoons.
They're the best ones, though. You got Scooby-Doo or something like that, isn't it? That's the thing.
Oh, I've got a couple of Scooby-Doo ones, yeah. But we've now got a person who may be in the chat comes in our chat anyway, who's made me a lovely livery for my Corvette. Like that's on my banner on the channel now. So if you want to check that out, that's brilliant.
I'll do that. I was one of the guys that was on the stream last night because I used my PSN, which is Crichton Starbug, because I'm a big Red Dwarf fan, and he said he's got a Red Dwarf picture. Yeah, so we're hopefully gonna get that sorted, and that'd be great for the car, because I love Red Dwarf. It's just one of my favorite comedy shows. Yeah. That I think you were saying earlier as well, weren't you? Because that's how you recognise it. Quite often, if you're in stream and come on, and people they'll give a Red Dwarf quote on the message box, which is always quite fun, which is a good laugh. So, because you've been playing all these racing games, are you a bit of a motorsport fan as well? Is that, do you think, what kind of brought you into racing, or was it just the love of playing games?
It's just the love of playing games, really. I mean, I like Formula One. I like watching the Formula One. I used to watch the British touring cars, but I never really watch them anymore.
Yeah.
I just like racing stuff in general. It's racing games. But I'll say racing games are the only ones I play. But I know there's a couple of people in the chat know there's one other game that I've played, and I'm sure someone will put it in, but I won't say what it is because it's very dull and boring.
What is it like? Train?
I only ever play Gran Turismo.
Is it Train Sim?
Oh, yes, it
is. It is, isn't it? All right, that was a guess.
Yeah.
That's quite good. It's a calming game.
It's a Train Simulator.
It's kind of a good game if you want to just calm yourself down and go on a train and drive.
Yes, it is. It is.
As long as nobody parks on the railway crossing, you're fine. That's the
you don't want any of that.
Has that ever come up? I was going to say in this Train Simulator.
No, not that I've seen anyway.
Look out! There's a BP petrol tanker up ahead.
Yeah. No, I've not encountered that, fortunately.
No, that's the thing. And in terms of cars and in real life, what are kind of like your favorite cars? Are you a bit of a car man as well? Do you like kind of sports cars, or what would be your kind of ideal?
I like sport. I think everybody likes sports cars, don't they? but I like big saloons.
Big saloons.
Yeah. I prefer, I mean, I only drive a Peugeot at the moment, like, but it's the 508, the biggest one they do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 6'1". I don't fit in small cars.
Aye.
So I've always liked the big cars. I'm not that bothered about having massive engines and stuff like that, although I would like a V8.
Yeah.
So
you like things like a Jaguar XJ because they've got the V8 engine.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The Jaguar XJR would be my dream.
Yeah, I like that car. I've driven it, and it was not the XJR version, but it's 3-litre petrol, and that was fantastic. Actually, that was a really nice car.
Yeah.
So,
I do like the Jags.
Is your Peugeot 508 the latest one that's just come out?
No, it's the one before.
Yeah, because the new one's an absolute stunner, actually. So
it's amazing looking car.
Yeah.
It has a very small steering wheel, though, which is that might take some
like a go-kart. It's like a go-kart, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yes.
But I'll come back to the GT questions because we've got a few more there in the chat. From Deadeye Delboy says, "Did you ever think GT would have this kind of community?"
No. It's the community around Gran Turismo is amazing. There's so many people. If you go on the Facebook pages, the Gran Turismo ones, it's like everyone sort of knows each other because they're all commenting on different things. People posting videos, questions. I mean, usually you get everyone taking a mickey out of someone because you get to a Friday and you get comments on race C. Why did they get a 1-second penalty? And it's on Friday. They've only been doing it since Monday and they forgot to change tyres, but everyone takes the mickey out of them. And it's just a really good community. And I've got a few lads message me on Facebook now, like we're just good mates. Yeah,
I think that's it. It's almost like before you may have gone to the pub and met up with your mates. Now you race online, and all your mates are there with you, aren't they? And you kind of think for what the future will hold as internet requirements get a bit better, and you kind of think, well, will you be able to see? I always think, will you be able to see everybody in the chat, almost like a kind of Zoom call along with your racing? So you can that'd be
a bit off-putting.
You can have everyone who's sitting there watching you, like an engineer, giving you advice and tips. But that'd
be very off-putting.
Now RK74 has said, "I am 6'4", Darren. You're a hobbit compared to him." So
I'll give you that one, Arkies. Yes.
So how do you find
that's very small.
Now you say you've got the next level. Is it the next level racing sim rig?
Yes.
Is that quite a good sim rig? Is that you find that you're quite happy with that? Is it quite adjustable, quite comfortable?
It's incredibly comfortable. You got the seat slider, so it goes backwards and forwards.
That's handy.
I've only had it for about 6-7 weeks.
All right. Oh wow.
Something like that. I bought one from Curry's, but it wasn't. It was a decent one, but because Fanatec's are heavy, the pole for what the steering wheel sits on with the plate on top, it was just like on a center pole, and it used to move with the weight of the Fanatec on it. With the G29, it was fine, but it's no good with the Fanatec. So
it's just maybe a little bit flimsy on the. That's what I find with the Play Seat Challenge, that it's okay with the G29, but it can move a little bit unless you've got everything really tight.
Yeah. Well, no, but this FGT is it's rock solid.
Aye.
It took about 3.5 hours to build it, but
oh wow, mine took 20 minutes, but I don't think I probably built it properly. I'm a bit like Clarkson, I take a hammer to an engine and say,
that's me.
But now a very good question here, and it's been well recommended from Tara Black, and she says, "Will you be participating in the next Battle of the Beatles with the WRL Podium 13 community?"
If I can do, I will do. But hopefully in the next month or so, I'll be going back to work. So, I was doing league racing, but I've had to come out of that because potentially going back to work, I can't commit to it because of work shifts.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do it, but it depends on what work comes up with. And plus they're in America, so there's a time difference quite late.
Aye. No, it's good though. It is hard as well. I mean, it's getting the time to commit to all these races and leagues, and they're great fun to do. And that's the thing.
I had a brilliant time in my last league, which only finished a few weeks ago. It was brilliant racing.
Well, you have been requested by Shitso Jin to say we need you in there, Darren. That and there boy said congratulations on the 350 subs. Wow, we've hit 350 tonight. That's fantastic. Thanks to everyone who's
well done,
recently subscribed and been there for a long time too. It's great to have you all with us. See what happens when you get a star like Darren.
Congratulations.
It's because you came on the show, Darren. It is definitely.
I'm sure that's what it is. Yes, I'm convinced that's what it is. It's my popularity in the sim world.
Absolutely. Well, you're a new talented YouTube streamer and definitely got momentum behind you as you're coming in to do all these races, which is great. Now Shitsu Jin has also said you should get Podium on your channel to interview you. Now I'll have to find out who Podium is. Podium, if you're watching just now, I'm sure we can get you on the show if you'd love to come and get all these questions put to you, just like we're doing to Darren tonight.
That would make a very interesting show, I can tell you that, Hugh.
Am I letting myself in for something that I have no idea what it's going to be like?
Podium is probably one of the most entertaining YouTubers I've seen.
Well, we need to get in touch with him. If ever you guys know him, put him this way, and we'll do our best to get him on the show. If he's happy to come on, we'll certainly do it. I have no problem at all with that.
Tara, you're watching. You let him know. Tara, who's watching, knows.
Yeah. All right. Oh yeah. So Mike Rogers Racing also says we want Sean. Sean will be coming on the show. Yes, we've often said that Sean needs to come on the show. So that should be good fun. So what would you like to do you have any kind of tips for your community and also to other people out there who might be on the verge of saying, you know what, now that Darren Turner is streaming, I'm going to stream as well? What would be your advice to someone who is setting out to become a YouTube racing streamer?
Just go for it. Just do it. It's absolutely brilliant. That's the best advice I can give you. Don't worry about what people think of you. Just do it. It's not hard. You're doing what you want to do anyway. You're playing. You've just got a camera pointing at you and you're talking to people.
Yeah. It's quite funny, isn't it? That it seems like you're talking to yourself. And I always remember the first time I did it and my wife said, "Are you gone mad?" I said, quite possibly. But it was, it was the thing that, and I said, I'm on stream. And then so everybody heard it as well. But it was almost like I've been sectioned off. But that was the one bit. But yeah,
that's the only bit that takes a bit of getting used to, the fact that you're talking to yourself, but you're not.
Yeah. And here's the thing as well for tips for your racing, because you're good at, you've got some good time trial times there. What would be your tips on getting a good time trial time and also a good your kind of racing etiquette tips?
Getting good time trial ones, I look for tips. I can't give them. I can't give anybody tips. Racing etiquette. Know where the braking zones are. If a car's in front of you, you can't brake at the same point that they're braking because you're going to go into the back of them. Mm-hmm. If somebody brakes at the brake, but you've got to brake that little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. Don't dive bomb into every corner.
They're all my good points.
Learn how to bump draft.
Yeah.
Last week at Tokyo was a prime example. You get cars flying up behind you because they've got the slipstream, and they'll try to get past you, but because they lose the slipstream when you pull alongside, they end up stuck alongside you. Mm-hmm. And nowhere to go. Bump draft. Learn how to do it. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's little things like that, but race clean. Watch the etiquette videos on Gran Turismo. Mm-hmm. I posted them on Facebook a couple of weeks ago to remind people what to do.
That was very good, actually. No, that's brilliant. Well, we've been going for nearly an hour, nearly 55 minutes of questions for Darren. Now, if you've got any more questions, so we don't keep him too long on the show, because I know you'll be busy and you've had a long day, and we'll be ready. If you get your questions in the next few minutes here, and we'll keep Darren going. But we've got lots of fantastic comments here saying we should definitely get Podium on the show. So I will need to look on YouTube and find Podium. and see if I can get in contact with him. And we've got Zany Wabbit, who is in the chat as well. Good to see you there. And lots of things been happening. And Mike Rogers says, on my streams, I really am talking to myself. So that's the... I'm sure there'll be more people who'll be watching you in the very near future, Mike, as well. But RK74 said, best advice must be that there's a real human being driving all the opponent cars and be nice, which is true, isn't it? Because that's trying to be Oh, now it's Mike has said WRL Podium on Twitter, Hugh, I believe. Oh, that's fine. Now, here's an independent question again from Deadeye Delboy. He says, what's your favourite McDonald's breakfast?
A sausage and egg McMuffin.
That's the thing. See, I have to wait till 11 o'clock because I'm a KFC fan. So I'm going to wait till 11 o'clock for and get some chicken.
KFC's too greasy nowadays. It's nice, but it's too greasy.
Can I go far wrong with a KFC? That's
you bite into it, you can feel your arteries hardening.
Right. When you have a KFC, you never need to eat again the rest of the day. That's you full. That's the day.
I'd hope you wouldn't eat more than one in a day, Hugh. That'd be really bad for you.
All right. Now we have Shitshow Jin said we have a Discord channel, Hugh. WRL Podium 13. You'll be able to contact him there. Oh, that's good. Fantastic. No, I will try and save this. That would be super. And see if I can get that and get through to him, and that would be amazing. So, in closing, Darren, what would you like to say to your community as they're out there supporting you, and what would you like to say to them?
To everyone who's watched me, to everyone who's subscribed, the people who've been in the chat, I want to thank you. I mean, it's very humbling to know. I mean, I know I've got 120 something now, but they're people that have subscribed to you and they watch you. And I'd just like to say thank you to everybody because it has been brilliant. I mean, I know I've only been doing it a couple of months, but it's just really good. And I've enjoyed every minute of it. Apart from the first couple of streams where I was by myself. But no, thank you to all of you. I appreciate it. I really do.
And I'm sure they appreciate that. And we've had some great comments here. Zany Rabbit has said, what he would like to say is, send me the money. And so I'm sure. And Richard Johnson has asked, what other streamers would you like to see on Hugh's show? Oh, well, that's the thing, isn't it? I've got a big list of people I'm trying to get on that I'm hoping to try and get John Cleland, the British touring car double champion, because he lives quite local to me. So I'm hoping to try and get him on. And we've got Chris Graham next week. I'm trying to get around more racing drivers as well, because I think they're always quite fun to interview, especially as many of them now do sim racing alongside. So it's quite good.
Darren Turner.
Yeah, yes, that would be good, and hopefully some more current BTCC drivers as well. I mean, that would be really good. But we've had people like David Perel, we've had Super GT, and if you're watching for the first time, there's a big back catalogue of interviews that we've done. We've had Tidgeney as well on, and we've had the Key 25. I'm hoping to try. If you know the Key, tell him, look, come back on the show. We'd love to have him back because it would be great to get him back on the show. But yeah,
we'll tweet him shortly and let him know.
Yeah, tell him the invite is there. It would be lovely to have him back on the show. Zany Rabbit has said, get Nigel Mansell. Absolutely, that would be amazing. He was a hero of mine back in. I even had Nigel Mansell driving gloves back in '92 when he won the World Championship. So
if you get him on no queue, you have to make it a prerequisite that he has a moustache. You can't come on with no moustache.
I think he shaved it off. Didn't he? Shaved it off a while ago.
You'll have to grow a new one if he comes on your show.
And Shitshow Jen said, I'd like to see you interview Jason Plato. Yeah, that would be really good. And obviously, and they've said we will get Deadeye Delboy on the show. You'll need to get in touch with me, Deadeye Delboy, so we can get a date sorted out in the calendar on a Thursday night. We'll get that sorted out. But it sounds like I have to run through your interviews. Yep, RQ74. We've got lots of great interviews. We even had on one of our early ones, we had Andrew Cowan, who he sadly passed away at the end of just about a year and a half ago. But he was one of the first people I interviewed, and he did he was a rally driver in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and also he was the team manager at Mitsubishi when it was Timo Mäkinen, and when they won the 5 championships in a row. It was Andrew Cowan who ran all of that, and it was just a podcast, but it was incredible podcast actually. I mean, the guy just had done the most. If you could be a racing driver for real or a rally driver for real, he did the kind of things you would want to do. It was like your boyhood dream. This guy had done it, and he was a lovely, lovely chap. But so we've got lots of great people in the catalogue there that you can go and watch. And we've had Keirith Cart. We've also had Keirith Cart as well, which is great. Someone's mentioned somebody called Kaboom. Tara mentioned Kaboom. So I'm not sure who that is, I have to say. But I will look on YouTube. But who would you like to see as well coming on the show, Darren?
Dell.
Yeah.
Top of the shop, Dell.
There's Jardy as well. I was trying to get Jimmy Broadbent. Jimmy Broadbent, he did actually come back to me. His secretary did, saying that they were going to try and do something. So I'll need to try and chase that up because I moved house as well in the middle of it all. So that was the thing. But now we're almost on fibre optic. I think I have fibre optic speeds now, so there's no excuse. We should be able to make it all work.
There's another young lad coming up as well. He was in the chat before. Harper 87.
Oh yeah,
He's new to it, just like me, and he does some great races. I subscribe to him. He does some brilliant races.
Yeah,
so he'd be good to get on.
Well, no,
but you've had most of them on it.
Yeah, well, they're always welcome. They're always welcome. And I was actually thinking about, so for some of the new guys that have recently started, maybe we could get you on together and have 2 or 3 at the same time, because it'd be quite fun to have a kind of questions and answers.
A lot of the top guys don't know who the smaller guys are, but the small guys know who all the top guys are.
Yeah,
it's like a bit of extra coverage, or I can't think of the word, but so people get to see who the younger ones are. Who, like a few years ago, that's where they were. Now they're at the top of the pile, and there's new drivers coming up. It's just it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Some of the top drivers to see some of the lower ones.
Aye. Well, we've had Harper 87 saying that would be that they'd be happy to come on the show. So yes, just give me an email. It's really easy. It's just either go onto the my website, which is hughhattrick.com, and just fill in the form there, or you can do it just hughhattrick@gmail.com. It's as simple as that, and you can see the spelling on the screen there in front of you. But it's been phenomenal, Darren, to have you on the show. I mean, you're just a lovely, lovely guy, and you've got great support with your community. And to everyone who's been watching as well, thank you so much for coming across tonight.
Yeah, absolute pleasure, Hugh. Thank you.
And for watching the show here tonight. Very much appreciate it. It's great to have you on, because this is what we like to do. We like to get the fans and your subscribers closer to the drivers, because they can ask you the questions in an interview like this that you can't do when you're streaming. Otherwise, you crash. So this is what we like to try and do, to bring you closer to your fans and your subscribers, and really try and help hopefully build the community. But it's been brilliant. Paul Stanford's just come in at the last minute. It's good to see you. It's Paul. Hope you're all well. And you've missed a fantastic interview, but I'm sure you'll get it on to catch up. But to Darren, stay on the line. But to everybody watching and who'll be hearing this as a podcast, thank you very much for watching the Car Sim and Race Driver Show with our star of the night. It can only be Darren Turner. Remember, drive fast and try not to crash. And if you do, you might just win the race at the first corner. Take care, good night, and bye just now.
Goodbye, everyone.